Hello everyone. So today in this presentation we are going to deal with the strategies of biodiversity conservation. Okay. So there are two kinds of strategies or two methods of conservations, and they are the in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. Okay, the two major methods of conservation. It can be grouped into in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. Okay, now we will be dealing with each of them in detail. So, what is in situ conservation? In situ conservation is otherwise the on-site conservation method, or it is actually within the natural habitat. So how we can define it is actually the conservation of flora and fauna in their own natural habitat or in their own natural environment. And hence it involves conservation of the total ecosystems uh, as protected areas. And the protected areas meant for in situ conservation includes national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, Ramsar sites, World Heritage sites, and so on. And there are many of national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves coming up. New national park came up, new protected area named Karimbura in Kerala, which had newly been introduced. And the major, well famous sanctuaries and wildlife, the protected areas, I have just listed under examples, especially from Kerala. So the national park, Silent Valley National Park in Palakkad, and uh, wildlife sanctuary, the Tekad Bird Sanctuary. Then we have Biosphere Reserve, the first one to be introduced or to be established in India. It is Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, and it comprises areas of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala. Then we have the Vallikunda Community Reserve. It is actually a area near Kadalundi. It is again a Ramsar site. Then Sundarbans National Park, it is a World Heritage Site. So what are these actually? Uh, National parks are protected areas where all kinds of organisms are protected under legal protection. Okay, it is strictly that particular area is strictly reserved for protection, preservation of wildlife. And here, the human activities like grazing, cultivation, hunting, harvesting of the forest, well, etc., completely forbidden. And the first national park to be established in India, it was Corbett National Park, while the first national park ever to be established in the whole world, it was Yellowstone National Park in US. Okay. Now, regarding the wildlife sanctuaries, they are protected areas where legal protection is given, but here restricted human activities are involved. Okay, you can harvest timber, then minor forest produce like honey or other things can be collected. Then even for research purposes and all, we can in, enter the wildlife sanctuaries. Okay, and many of the sanctuaries later was converted into national parks. There have been plenty of examples in India itself. Okay, now coming to biosphere reserves, these are protected areas which had been conferred under the program of Man and Biosphere program, or MAB, which was launched in 1975. And this Man and Biosphere program, it is introduced under the UNESCO of UN. And here, it is a protected area where all the biological species are given protection and multiple land uses permitted. Multiple land uses in the sense, in these biosphere reserves, we can find national parks will be there, sanctuaries will be there. Apart from these wildlife habitats, you can also find the tribal people, then cultivated land, then domesticated animals, like settlements will be there. So biosphere reserve is actually conservation of not only wildlife habitat but the areas closer to those. It is actually a larger area. So when we compare the what you call the areas under each of the protected area, we can see that wildlife sanctuary is the smallest one. Then we have the larger national parks and the largest one in the with the biosphere reserve. Okay, then Ramsar sites, especially meant for the protection of what you call the marine or aquatic habitats. Okay, Ramsar sites mainly for you can see there are plenty of this one, the Ramsar sites, and these include mainly the aquatic habitats. For example, you have the Kadalundi, you have the Sundarbans, and such kind of sites are being lakes and all are being listed under Ramsar sites, and they are protected. And the World Heritage sites, actually it includes the actually World Heritage sites also include many other areas, like for example Taj Mahal or any other places of cultural importance, but there are places of wildlife importance which are being protected under World Heritage sites. Okay. Now the next one is ex situ conservation. It is an off-site conservation method. That is the flora and fauna. It is conserved, but it is not in their own natural habitat. Instead, they are being taken out of their natural habitat and they are protected in some other areas. Okay, ex situ conservation. So outside their natural habitat. And what kind of organisms are conserved under these ex situ conservation methods? Mainly two kinds of species are being selected for Exeter conservation. One is those species whose natural habitat is highly degraded. It could be degraded, fragmented, or destroyed. And another thing is like when the number of those species it is very critically less or it is endangered, and hence what happens is with the degraded environment they may not be able to survive in this condition, so they may have to pick if it is not protected by ex situ conservation methods they may go extinct. Okay, so in such kind of situations the for the protection of the species ex situ conservation methods can be opted. Okay, it includes zoos or botanical gardens, then gene bank, pollen bank, seed bank, germplasm bank, etc. Okay, and the various examples we have the Tropical Botanical Garden Research Institute in Palu, Trivandrum. As the name suggests, it is botanical garden, and it is mainly where we have a collection of various plants from the tropical regions. Okay, then International Rice Research Institute, Manila. As the name indicates, it is mainly meant for the collection of rice genome, and the rice varieties from all over the globe it is being collected, and it is being the genome is being like preserved over there. Okay, then you have the National Bureau of Animal Genetics Resources in Karnal in Haryana, and that is mainly meant for the animal genome. Okay, so these are the two main methods, ex situ and in situ, and it is meant for the conservation of animals, flora as well as fauna. Okay, thank you.